Kate's curiosity got the better of her. She could not stop thinking about whether she could create the same magic with Alex. Alex was the safer choice. He was kind and loyal. Kate snuck Alex into the academy as the sun was rising, but before Miss Caroline was due to make breakfast. Kate and Alex shared a loving and tender intimate experience together. Alex told her that he was in love with her for the first time. Kate did enjoy herself. Alex was surprisingly quite skilled. However, Kate didn't feel that same spark as she did with Edison. After Alex left, Kate had a ciggy to mull over her experiences with each man. Alex was the safe option because he was stable and would give her a good life. Edison was fame-hungry and was known to have a wandering eye. She couldn't deny her feelings for him. Vivian recently told her parents that painting wasn't her passion, and she was going to pursue a career as a pianist. Kate jumped at the opportunity to have Vivian play for her when she sang at the Speakeasy. Kate's performances were gaining a lot of attention, and she had a full house of listeners every time she performed. The owner asked her to start performing 3 nights a week. Ever since they professed their undying love for one another, Janine and Francis were inseparable. Kate and Vivian hated to be in the same room as them because they would inevitably start kissing. In between all the kissing, the couple had talked about what the future looked like for them. They would not be safe as an interracial couple in Newcrest, so they decided they would purchase land in Noonwood Mill and live a secluded yet happy life together. Kate had decided pretty early on that her choice between the two men was obvious. Edison was more exciting and had similar life goals to her. She would give it a trial run before telling Alex of her decision. Edison was very supportive of her dream to be a singer or an actress. He came to every one of her performances. Alex didn't see a career as a singer as a practical path for his future wife, so he encouraged her to quit the Speakeasy gig. Kate wanted a partner that supported all of her dreams and would do anything to help make them happen. That's why Edison was the obvious choice in her eyes. The pleasure he made her feel was only an added bonus, not the sole reason for her decision. However, she could get used to feeling on cloud 9 with Edison by her side. Genevieve was waiting outside of the academy when Kate snuck back. She suggested they play chess to prove she was smarter than Kate. Kate was feeling particularly feisty after her rendezvous with Edison at the Speakeasy, so she provokes the other girl. Genevieve began making foul comments about Kate. Every word that Genevieve said to her reminded her of her mother, and it triggered her greatly. Once Kate couldn't take any more, she blurted out that she had been sleeping with Genevieve's boyfriend. Genevieve begins screaming at Kate. She threatens to get her blacklisted in Del Sol Valley. Her family could make that happen. Kate had such a smug expression on her face, and Genevieve couldn't allow her to think she was better than the Genevieve land grab. Her anger got the best of her, and she strikes Kate across the face. Kate retaliated by decking Genevieve square in the nose. She grew up around her mother. She knew how to throw a punch. If a career in Del Sol Valley was off the table, at least she could give the girl a pretty shiner. The next day Edison came to the academy to meet Kate, but was instead ambushed by Genevieve. She is irate that he would cheat on her with such a floozy. She refused to entertain his delusions of being an actor and would make a call to her parents. Edison would not stand for this. He counters that he had been a great boyfriend to her, but she would not put out for him, so he had to get it from somewhere. He begs for her forgiveness. Genevieve refuses to take Edison back. She states that she barely liked him and only wanted to make Kate's life miserable. She told him he was dull and would never be a successful actor because he was talentless. Edison followed Genevieve inside to plead with her to take him back. He needed her connections to make it in Del Sol Valley. Instead, she struck him in the face and demanded he leave immediately. Janine spent much of her downtime practicing her pirouettes in the cellar. She had been feeling ill for the past few weeks. powered through it. All of the girls were graduating from the academy soon, and she wanted to end on a high note. Janine could not shake the nausea she was feeling. She and Francis were intimate often now, so she worried that they could have a little problem. They were finally in a good place, and an unplanned pregnancy would complicate things. Kate's 18th birthday had finally arrived. This was a day that Kate sometimes thought she would never make it to. Her life had not been easy thus far, but she was about to be an adult and have the power to make her own decisions about her life. Happy birthday, Katie girl. She wished for happiness and fame. She also hoped she was making her daddy proud. Kate's young adult trait is that she is stunning. This will help her with her journey to become a famous actress or singer. Although Kate loved to sing, she decided that her overall life aspiration was to be a world-class actress. She could be a famous singer, but she wanted her face memorialized forever on the big screen. Katie and her friends graduated from the academy. They had until the end of summer to vacate the building and start their new lives as distinguished young women. After Kate aged into a young adult, her newfound maturity put things into perspective for her. Edison was the man she saw a future with. No more trial period. No more indecision. She would break up with Alex and start officially dating Edison. Kate invited Edison into the dormitory for a celebratory drink and snog. Later that evening, Edison joined Kate and the rest of their group at the speakeasy. Kate was performing that night. The newfound couple danced the night away, speaking of their plans to move away together to Del Sol Valley at the end of the summer. Kate's worst nightmare became a reality, and she saw Alex walk into the speakeasy. He had finally come to watch her sing. Instead, he walked in on the love of his life actively cheating on him. Kate awkwardly greeted Alex and thanked him for coming to support her. Alex angrily demanded why she was dancing with another man. As delicately as Kate possibly could, she ended her relationship with Alex. She told him that he was a kind and loyal man, but the life that he wanted with her wouldn't satisfy her. She wanted to be famous, not a dutiful housewife like he wanted her to be. After Alex left, Edison kissed Kate on the cheek and reassured her that she made the right decision. They could finally be happy together. Vivian watched the entire debacle between Kate and Alex unfold. She had always had a soft spot for Alex. He was sweet to her. If only he would give her a chance, she would make the man so happy. Vivian accompanied Kate's vocal performance again that night. Their music was electric together, and the crowd adored them. Kate was on fire that night. She was reeling from the breakup with Alex and the beginning of her relationship with Edison. She would soon move to Del Sol Valley and make her dreams come true. She had so much to be happy and grateful about. Harrison Thurman was a talent agent in Del Sol Valley. He was tasked by the landgrabs to come to the speakeasy and crush Kate's spirit. However, as he watched that young woman perform, he was blown away by her stage presence. She was breathtakingly beautiful, and he could see the star potential she had. He could make her a household name. After her set was finished, Harrison approached her and encouraged her to make him her agent. Kate found this whole ordeal to be incredibly strange and figured this was a setup from Genevieve. She explained that she wasn't interested. Kate would not have her career ruined by one of Genevieve's family lackeys. She knew she would be a star one day, but made it clear that she did not want Harrison to be her agent. Harrison felt as though he was wrong about Kate's star quality because she was not even famous and was already acting like a diva. However, he gave her his business card in case she changed her mind. Kate thanked Harrison for his time but promised she would not be calling him. She was ambitious and driven, so she would pave her own way to fame. After Harrison left, she pondered whether or not she made the right decision to turn away the man. He could have been her ticket to fame and notoriety. Edison pleaded with her to give Harrison a call. The man could help boost both of their careers. Kate would think about it. After countless suggestions from her friends, Janine decided it was time to find out definitively if she was pregnant with Francis's baby. She had a feeling but wasn't going to tell Francis until she was sure. Vivian waited right outside of the bathroom door to be moral support for her longest and dearest friend. She lit up a ciggy to help her cope with the possibility of Janine's entire life trajectory changing. It was times like this where she was grateful to be alone. Kate waited down the hall in the kitchen. She was counting her lucky stars today. What Janine was experiencing could have very well happened to her. She had to be more careful. Janine patiently waited there in the bathroom for the pregnancy test to appear with the results that would forever change her life. She was absolutely shocked to see two pink lines. She was pregnant and now she would have to tell the love of her life. After Janine shared the news with Vivian, she told Katie. Janine was nervous that Kate would be judgmental, but her friend was very supportive and happy for her. She said that Janine and Francis were soulmates and their baby was a blessing. Kate was truly happy for her best friend. It was a bittersweet moment because this really solidified that they were going on different paths and would go their separate ways at the end of the summer. Francis heard through the grapevine that Janine needed to see him, so he waited for her outside of the academy. Janine thanked Francis for coming. She was really nervous and made Francis promise that he would not be angry with her and to keep an open mind. He promised. She pulled the pregnancy test from her pocket and presented it to the love of her life. Francis was first in shock and couldn't find the words to express his feelings. All he could do was kiss his girl. They were going to be a family. With what seemed like the whole world against them, they found a true love together. They had a long road ahead and probably more people hating them for falling in love, but they were happy. Even though it was not even legal in Newcrest, Francis got down on one knee and asked Janine to be his wife. Janine uttered the easiest yes she had ever spoken. They would get married where it was legal and be a true family together. Against all odds, they found happiness. They were having a baby and getting married. Life was good. Life for Kate and Edison was peaceful after Genevieve moved out of the academy in the middle of the night, without a word. The only problem they were facing was Edison's constant pressure to call Harrison and make him her agent. Kate would always distract him the only way she knew how. With her body, she knew that he was probably right about Harrison and the doors he could open for her career. However, she felt uneasy that Edison was only pushing her for his own personal gain. Vivian watched in horror as her friends were getting intimate right in front of her, like she were a piece of furniture in the room. She didn't trust Edison, but she didn't know how to explain that to Katie. She was blindly in love with the man. Kate was blindly in love with Edison. The way he looked at her, and the skillful, sometimes manipulative way he spoke to her made her feel like the only girl in the world. He was the one despite his flaws. After many days of wearing her down and explaining the myriad of reasons having Harrison as her agent would be amazing for her, she finally agreed to give him a call. Edison was smart enough to not steer her wrong, so she decided to trust him. That's what love was about. The end of the summer came quicker than Katie had expected. She had to say goodbye to her dearest friends. She first said goodbye to Vivian. They had plans to see each other soon, because she planned to visit Del Sol Valley in the near future. Vivian said goodbye to her longest and most beloved friend, Janine. She had been her savior for so many years and helped her to become the strong woman she was now. She wished her so much happiness with Francis. Katie's hardest goodbye was Janine. She had never had a friend until she met Janine, and she held a special place in her heart for the girl. She didn't want to say goodbye, as she knew Janine would live a happy and fulfilling life with Francis. Janine wished her best friends the best fortune the world could offer them. She knew Vivian would be making beautiful music somewhere, and she would see Katie's face on the big screen one day. After Kate and Edison took the long train ride to Del Sol Valley, she gave Harrison a call. Edison emphasized that she would go far in this industry if she seemed attainable to Harrison. He asked her to flirt with him. She did think Harrison was a good-looking man. As she felt as though she was being unfaithful to Edison, she wanted to make him proud and gain an agent, so she flirted with the older man. Harrison arranged for Kate to sing at the Del Sol Valley Dance Club so he could get a feel of her star potential. Kate gave it her all and lost herself in the music. Harrison watched Kate in amazement. He knew he saw such potential in her during his first encounter with her, but she was in a league of her own. He had to be an agent. He would make them both very rich and would make her a star. After Kate finished her set, she and Harrison traveled upstairs to the speakeasy portion of the establishment to order a celebratory drink and to discuss specifics of Harrison becoming her agent. They drank their drinks together, and Kate felt a bit of tension between them. She couldn't place what it was, but it was almost like a primal urge to kiss him. She felt guilty for even thinking it. Kate decided that she would play hardball with the man. He had raved about her performance and her star quality, so she knew she had it in the bag. However, she and Edison needed a place to live and was hoping he would throw an apartment in their deal. They were staying in hotels. Harrison watched as the young woman hit a drag from her ciggy. She was truly the most stunning woman he had ever seen. He couldn't wait to have her audition for roles and be the next big silent film star. Harrison laid out the details of what his representation would mean. She would be sent to many auditions, and he would board her in his townhome. He made it clear to her that Edison was permitted to live there, that he did not want to be his agent, only Kate. Essentially, Harrison was in charge of her career, but he vowed to make it successful. Kate agreed to these terms and thanked him profusely for this opportunity. Kate was over the moon that she had an agent in Del Sol Valley and would soon be going to auditions. This was her big break to become a star. They sealed the deal with a lingering hug. Kate noted the delectable way their bodies fit together. Harrison gave her the key to his townhouse, and they agreed to meet again soon to discuss auditions. He was eager to see him again. Harrison left the Del Sol Valley Dance Club with a pep in his step. Kate was beautiful, and he wanted her. He loved a challenge, and he would do his darndest to get that woman in his bed. Kate rushed to embrace Edison once she saw him enter the building. Their lives together in Del Sol Valley were off to a great start. Edison asked how it went, wanting to know if they both had an agent, but Kate couldn't contain her excitement. She kissed her love with such fervor that she nearly knocked Edison off his feet. She felt on top of the world. Katie excitedly elaborated on all of the juicy details of her meeting with Harrison. She left out the flirting and the feeling she had towards Harrison, but disclosed everything else. Edison's only question was if Harrison agreed to also represent him. He was disappointed and was quiet after that. Kate felt bad that Edison was feeling down about the outcome, but she would not let him dampen her mood. They would work on his acting and prepare him for auditions. But for today, she would celebrate her first big win in Del Sol Valley and her path to becoming a star. Kate and Edison entered their new home. It was fully furnished, and it was a stunning design. It was also way too big for two people. Kate hoped to be able to populate it with many little babies. Edison was very proud of his girl for securing such a nice place for them to live in Del Sol Valley. He was truly happy for her and the flourishing career she would soon have, but a big part of him was jealous of her agent, of her beauty. She would go far. They sat in the living room of their new home, and each lit up a ciggy. Edison hoped his own big break would happen because of his affiliation with Kate. He doesn't know if he would be able to be content with Kate famous while he was only a commoner. Kate hoped their life together would flourish in this move to Del Sol Valley. She really did love him and wanted their relationship to work out. However, she didn't know if she would sacrifice her ascent to stardom for him. As the days progressed, the couple got used to their new home. It was truly lavish and a wonderful place to live. Kate and Edison often danced in the living room together. Edison loved to dance, and Kate loved Edison. Kate could see that Edison was hurting because Harrison refused to represent him. She wanted to take his pain away and help him succeed. She was afraid he would stop loving her if he wasn't also successful. She wanted Edison at the top of stardom with her. Their intimacy had only increased and matured since moving to Harrison's townhouse. Kate's audition process had yet to begin, so there was little else to do in their big new home. Where Edison lacked in his career, he made up for in the bedroom. He wanted to make sure that Kate knew the power dynamic in their relationship. Although she was better off in her career at this point, he was in charge and dominant in their relationship. Katie had minimal experience in the kitchen, only the subpar meals she had prepared for her mother and sister. She used to view cooking as a chore. That was until she started cooking in the immaculate kitchen at the townhouse. She adored cooking. After that, she loved to cook meals for Edison. She previously despised the idea of being a housewife that only took care of the children and the home. But now she hoped to be a star while also being a homemaker. It brought her such joy and validation. She wanted to be what her own mother never was. She set the table each night for dinner. It made her feel so happy to have a neatly placed table for a delectable meal. Edison's favorite part of the townhouse was the secret bar on the top floor. It could only be entered by a hidden ladder. He felt so posh to have his own secret speakeasy in his home. Harrison had an elaborate collection of wine in his private bar. He told Katie that everything in the home was theirs to use, so Edison broke into the man's collection soon after moving in. It was the least he could do for flirting with his girl. Kate's meals always looked like it could be pictured in a cookbook. She worked hard on the meals and took pride when they both looked and tasted amazing. Kate would ring the dinner bell for Edison to come join her. He liked to keep her on her toes and make her wait for his arrival. Dinner was often left cold or even uneaten, much to Kate's dismay. Edison wanted to christen every inch of Harrison's townhouse. The man may represent Kate, but he could never have her. Edison was really making himself at home. After Kate convinced Harrison to have a ballet bar installed, he liked to start his day by practicing the dance in the nude. It made him feel liberated and like an alpha male. Kate's favorite part about their new home was the clawfoot tub. She loved to feel clean and loved to soak for hours in the water. It reminded her of the baths she used to take in her childhood home. She thought of that home and her father nearly every day. A fact that was previously unknown to Kate was that Edison is proficient in the piano skill. His mother taught him as a child. He would delicately play the keys and move Kate's soul with the melodies. It made her fall more in love with him. It also got her in the mood. It was such a turn on to see her man excel at something. If acting did not work out for him, a career as a pianist could be right for him. She wanted to please Edison. She wanted him to love her the way she loved him. If servicing him most days was the way to his heart, she would do it happily. Despite feeling inferior to his partner, Edison felt so content to be in this beautiful home and in Del Sol Valley that a personality shift occurred in him. He became cheerful,